Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and on this one I'm gonna check Otto Audio's More is More plugin, what it is and what you can do with it. Rock and roll. Alright, first before we go into audio examples, let's read what the engineer says. Throughout the decade before the 333, that's the amp sim I've done a video, so he's been a mastering engineer. During this time, I developed and refined a workflow method to get pristine loudness, grit, and character imbued into each session that became my own signature. Okay, so this is basically a mastering plugin. You know, he's a mastering chain made into one plugin, but I'm pretty sure this will work on individual tracks as well. But for this, I'm gonna check this out in a mastering situation. Like it says, More is More is a secret sauce plugin to add character, weight, punch, and grit to your tracks, as well as loudness plus finishing polish to your tracks, mixes, and masters. Take it all the way from just adding a little weight or emphasis, clean, loud to sparkling harmonics and crunch, or even full-blown distortion for when the situation calls for it. You know, full-blown distortion, that's not probably what you want to have, you know, when mastering, but maybe on individual tracks. More is More is sure to stay on our mix bus and find all kinds of uses in your mixing and mastering projects. I'm gonna use this for mastering. So I have my mastering template open. Sometimes I master my own mixes. So this mix, what I have here, this is a Finnish band called Cyhra. Their debut album is coming out this spring 2023. I produced the album and mixed that. Jacob Herman helped me with the drums. He recorded the drums and was the main producer on that. He has a great studio, top floor studio in Gothenburg, Sweden. And our Cyhra's Jake E recorded and produced the vocals, but I was the main producer for the whole project, and I recorded guitars and bass here in my studio. And like I said, I mixed it. Jacob Hansen, you know, really famous, good Danish mixing and mastering, recording engineer, producer. He mastered the album and this song. But what I have here now is my mix that from one song called Lantern that I sent to Hansen for mastering. So let's listen to the mix first, and let's check out how my mixes are usually pretty loud. So they don't need much you know, loudness, because, you know, I have an analog processing, so I can make them as loud or quiet as I want. But let's check out the song first, and let's bypass the More is More plugin. Oh yeah, and I have the sound ID reference now off. I'm using that to calibrate my speakers, but since I'm screen recording, I don't want to have that on, because it will sound or would sound weird to you. So I'm having a little bit, I need to adjust my ears to this now without the sound ID reference. It's this one. So as you can see, my curve with the plugin is pretty flat. I have quite a bump at 100 Hz in this room, but that takes care of that. But now I just live with that bump. As you noticed, my mix is almost minus 14 LUFS, which is kind of what Spotify and Apple Music recommends that your masters, you know, should be at least. I don't usually pay that much attention to that when I'm mastering, just whatever sounds good. But usually, I guess my masters are usually, it depends, but they are a bit louder than the minus 14, so they will be squashed down a bit, you know, on Spotify. But yeah, so my mixes are pretty loud. So let's see what the More is More plugin does. If we listen from the verse, and I have just loaded a preset called Audio Violence at its finest. let's actually do like this. So yeah, let's listen. Obviously, it will make it louder, but you know, human ear, I don't want to be fooled with the loudness because everything always sounds better when it's loud. So I'm gonna level match this so that the loudness level is the same with and without, so I can really hear what it actually does. That, you know, that it's just not louder. Okay, so now they are around minus 14.5 LUFS both. Now let's listen from the C part. Okay, so there's different clipping modes. I believe, to be honest, I haven't checked the manual. I just put these tests. The more, it's kind of like a limiter. Apparently, it adds, you know, it brings the volume up. And this is probably like soft clipping thing. So that's another way to raise volume and add some nice distortion. These seem to work, these louder and clipping kind of with these. So arc clipping, soft analog, kind of different styles. And this is just the overall. Let's check what the saturation does. So, yeah, you can really distort the audio. In a mastering situation, I guess very little is needed. Let's check out what the settings of this preset. This is actually quite good preset. There's a lot of presets, extra violent, and then for individual instruments. But I kind of like this audio violence at its first quite a lot. Let's bring it back to, it was like 3.7, I think. Yeah, so it adds kind of this, it thickens the tone, kind of highlights the transient, it makes it more. Just my mix, which I think was pretty good, this kind of elevates it a little bit more denser and well, in this case, because the song is pretty violent, I really like what it does, and the mix is kind of so you can have the processing in parallel. Let's check when I put this fully on what it does. Okay, it's a bit too much, I think, so let's back it up. The way I dial these now is pretty much what I do with amps, and don't really pay attention to wherever it feels good. So yeah, I'm liking this. Let's check out a couple of other presets. Yeah, I really like the audio violence at its finest preset as a starting point. And okay, now we're minus 14 loud. Let's put this. Let's see how loud we can make this without distorting the audio completely. So really loud. As you heard at some point, it started to be mushy and everything was destroyed. But yeah, you can make your mix really loud and still kind of retain the dynamics. Because many times, you know, the snare gets squashed and the mix feels like that it's going backwards, you know, instead of forward, which you should, you know, with the mastering to achieve. So. Yeah, I like the dynamics are there. It's not squashed, and there's the save clip mode. Okay, and then there's behind or under there's some stuff. Okay, so you can even bring out the transient and add some air. Cool. I could go on forever, feel my soul. I've got this bitch you could not believe. Reads and books you could not receive. Just kind of makes it a bit denser. Okay, so let's, overdo this and then let's pack the mix. Cool, let's see what the mix knob does. Or the frequency. I think it's probably kind of the center area where these are operating. I'm not sure. But, if it sounds good, it sounds good. Yeah, with a few simple knobs. I mean, I'm not completely sure what these technically do. There's a great video. I'll put a link in the description where these are explained. But as you can hear, the mix without sounded great. With this, I just made it a bit more aggressive, added some air. Maybe I added actually a bit too much. A bit, and I feel it makes it also a bit wider, the whole mix. So, conclusion, I think this is a great, simple, easy to use plugin. You don't necessarily need to know what these do. When you tweak this, you will hear, at least I will hear. And this is my mastering, template. So I have some stuff with what I usually use when mastering, like the waves, Abbey Road, DG mastering chain is one. Then I use sometimes Ozone 10. And I really like this Soft Tubes Chandler Curvebender EQ. Sometimes I use one of them, sometimes all little, but this more is more is definitely going to be on my mastering template. Great work again, Otto Audio. And yeah, I think there was even, let me see what we agreed with him. I think we agreed that there's a discount, more Euge mixes. So use that, check this out. There's a 2-week trial, 14-day trial, so you can try this out. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna like this. At least I like this a lot. Alright, hey, thanks for watching. All the best. Until next time. And like English says, more is more.